Hello New Yorkers, I'm your host Valerie here for What's Up New York. We are on set at the Philippine Consulate General's office for a courtesy call today. Here we are joined by the Consulate General himself, Mr. Senen Mangalile. My accent's off, but
nailed it.
Oh, there we go. But we thank you so much for meeting with us today and giving us your time.
Pleasure.
Yes. So we're so excited to get into this interview. We're going to ask you a few questions about yourself, your position. So if you want to start off by telling us a little bit about yourself and maybe what your previous post was.
Okay, I'm Senen Mangalile. I'm the Consul General of the Philippines in New York and 9 other states.
Oh.
So I cover 10 states in the U.S. Northeast from Maine to Delaware. I was previously posted in Switzerland. I was there last year, and it was a surprise when I was then transferred to New York. Totally unexpected, but
quite a different atmosphere.
What a pleasant surprise! Of course, the vibe of the city is so different from that of Bern, Switzerland, which even within Switzerland is known as a slow paced city.
Oh yeah,
it's the
polar opposites.
Yeah, it's the capital, and at the same time, the size of the Filipino community as well are polar opposites. In New York, we have about say 180,000 in the state, and in Switzerland, the whole country about 14,000.
Oh, geez.
So totally different vibe and totally different flavor to this posting. I've been with the Department of Foreign Affairs for 26 years now.
Yes, yeah, I've read up on all your previous positions, and I feel like it kept going and going and going.
Yeah, I was first posted abroad in Japan, particularly Osaka.
Osaka, right?
Yeah, and then my next foreign posting was in London. There was a brief interlude in my first year in London when I was assigned temporarily to Turkey.
Oh,
Ankara.
that's got to be different.
And it was interesting because it was just
what's
during
the community like there, number-wise?
The Filipinos are more concentrated in Istanbul, and while the capital is in Ankara.
Okay.
But there's also a lot of other people crossing from the then going on war in Syria. So it was the Arab Spring, and so very interesting times. And
yeah.
Of course, London was interesting as well. In 2017, we had a spate of attacks from some terror groups and some disturbances. So I believe that those experiences somehow prepared me to land on my feet in New York.
Here in New York. Yeah, like you're talking about now, I'm sure going around the world pretty much, dealing with Filipinos from around the world. What kind of experience did that bring you to prepare you for New York specifically?
Well, the first thing I think that a diplomat should always have is empathy. So you have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the other. And in the case of our kababayan, it would always be a keen understanding of the reasons why in the first place they left home, and to see how the Philippine government could be of assistance as they navigate their way in a foreign land. So that's always been my lodestar, if you would. I have to be able to understand where they're coming from, what are their expectations, and then to manage those expectations, because of course, while we want to help all out, there are certain laws, regulations that would make us able to help just as far as those regulations would allow.
I'm sure it's very difficult to balance both governments, especially with different governments like Turkey or the US that are different than how we run things in the Philippines. So tell us about how you try to balance those responsibilities to the different countries you serve.
Yeah, you're very right. The way some countries' laws are phrased and constructed depends to a large extent on their worldview. So we're lucky that here in the United States there is equal protection before the law, very strong labor laws that protect our workers, and then culturally we're not that much different. In Turkey, for instance, there's still a very, male-dominated society, and therefore our kababayan, most of whom are women, have to, live in that kind of world. But they have their voice anyway, and anywhere the Filipino goes, we are able to sink roots and grow and prosper. And I've seen that a lot. There are big communities all over the world that are born out of that need to come together and support one another, so that everybody can have that presence, that voice in that community.
Yeah, definitely. There's obviously, like you said, communities throughout the country, throughout the world, of strong Filipino voices. So tell us about, in New York City specifically, how it was finding and experiencing these different pockets of culture within the city.
It's a really interesting study. If you're a scholar, you could really write a paper about how Filipinos find various ways to come together. We are natural joiners. I would say, everybody would want to form an association with some others, based on various things, religion, ethnicity, or we should say regional origin. Alumni associations,
Definitely.
professions, and I see that as a sign that we are a very social people, and
sure.
If we do that in a right way, we can really make a difference, a huge difference in the society that we now call home. And so that's one thing that I would like to see, that this trend of forming associations would also be an opportunity to come together and unite and press for greater representation in the political, social, and even in academic fields.
That would be amazing.
We are a positive contributor to this country, and other ethnic groups should see that, and we should not be stereotyped into one class, one collective, but that they are able to see. They should be able to see that we are all over. I just had a conversation with young entrepreneurs trying to bring Philippine coffee products to the United States, and they are born and raised here in the United States, but they still have that pride of being Filipino Americans. That's what I want to get to, that our organizations, our Filipino community will have that pride, and then we'll also be able to work together.
Yes.
And achieve much more than what just one organization could.
It's really true. When I talk to different people and tell them I'm Filipino, or even my family, so I'm half American, half Filipino. When my dad first introduced my mom to my dad's side of the family, every single person had a story about how some Filipino in their life has impacted them. So we definitely are making a difference. It's just getting that collective collaborating between organizations to make the bigger difference in the community.
May I just say that you're not half Filipino and half American, you're double You are both American and Filipino.
That's
so
true.
that's not half and half, but you have double the cultural resource to draw from.
Yes.
To make your identity even richer than.
I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
So I when I was in Japan, that's how the moms introduced their kids to me, and they said, "Oh, he's half." And I said, "No, he's not half," because they meant he's half Japanese, half Filipino. I said, "He's not half. He's double."
He's both.
Because he's both, and those two cultures, the strengths of those two cultures blended together. That's what make us Filipinos really, star quality, star material.
Yes, Filipino Americans.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about, I've seen in past interviews, you've talked about your initiative and your plans to collaborate between organizations within New York, because there's so many, like you said, kind of trying to make their own way. So could you tell us about any major plans you have coming up or initiatives going on right now?
Right now we are keen on stoking pride of their heritage among the second, third generation Filipino Americans, because the further you go from the original migrants who came from their family, the more tenuous the connection with the Philippines could be.
Yes.
And they look like us, but they speak, talk, and think in the American way, whatever that is. No? But I want them to not forget that they are part of this huge collective that we call Filipino Americans, and they should have that pride in their heritage. The specific projects that we are lining up for them is I want to lead the preparations for the tour of the Philippines by Filipino Americans. It used to be called the Ambassadors Tour. It has since been rebranded and relaunched this year as the VIP Tour, a very important Pinoy tour. And
it's awesome that you can do that now that COVID is lightening up, and that we finally can go back home.
Exactly, and slake the thirst for travel that we had during the pandemic. And what we want to do is to enable whole families to go. So the activities would be varied according to each one's sense of adventure, whatever adventure they want to pick. Secondly, we are trying to strengthen collaboration with universities and centers, learning centers, so that more programs for teaching Filipino language and teaching Filipino
that's
culture
something I've always wanted.
Would be there. We have the annual paaralan sa konsulado or school at the consulate every summer, and that has been around for a lot of years, and that is really a good vehicle that I said it could be replicated outside of New York. If we find some partners that we can collaborate with, we will go out and share that best practice around, so that more of our Filipino American younger generation could have that opportunity.
Preservation of the culture.
And then the third, and I'm very engaged with this now, is I'm trying to connect the weaving communities in the Philippines with institutions here that could help them develop the techniques, put some intervention in the process so that we could produce more and more efficiently.
Yes. It's very difficult, because I recently had something made for a festival I was going to, and we had to get a relative to go into the province and get it done there and then ship it and all that. So it would be wonderful to continue that tradition here for Filipino Americans.
Exactly. And what I envision is that the communities in different parts of the U.S. Northeast would be the ones to be our advocates in promoting this wherever they are.
Yes.
So again, it's a partnership that we are offering. It's not us coordinating things, which means, we design the program and then you just get on board or not. No. I want this to be a collaborative process. So at the same time that we're sharing our vision, we are also listening to feedback and things that these communities might have already done it before. No need to reinvent the wheel. Just continue or improve the way
Pass
the
on
program
the tradition.
is delivered. And if it worked in the past, let's continue to do it and share it with others as well.
That's wonderful to hear. I also want to touch upon, for viewers at home that might not be fully clear on what it is you do in a day as Consulate General. Could you step us through what your typical responsibilities are?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. The first is that the Philippine Consulate General is the government of the Philippines out here.
Okay.
So we are a microcosm of what's happening in the bureaucracy in the Philippines. So as a government agency, we issue documents that identify somebody as a Filipino. So I mean passport. And then we legalize documents that are to be used in the Philippines. So that's your special powers of attorney. If you're buying condominium unit and you're here, you need to authorize somebody to do it, so that it all passes through the consulate. We issue visas to foreigners who want to stay in the Philippines longer than the time visa-free entry would allow them. So that's one. We are the NBI here, not because we investigate, but because we process NBI clearance application forms.
Okay.
We are the PSA here, Philippine Statistics Authority, because we register births, marriages, and death of Filipino citizens. So that's one facet of it, and that's the daily public-facing task that we do, the consulate. The second and very important is economic diplomacy. We try to open markets for our products in this part of the United States. We do our best to attract investors to the Philippines, and we can only do that if we go out of our offices and really visit them where they are, and try to see how we can partner them with the business community in the Philippines, and to see if there are gaps that we can address, so that each party, the business here and the business in the Philippines, could have a win-win outcome. The third is we promote Philippine culture. We do that through our own center here, which we call Centro Rizal. And that's our way of projecting the diversity of the Philippines, the richness of its heritage, the dynamic aspects of its culture. We are an archipelago of 7,461 islands.
There you go.
So that's a lot of culture in one country that we could.
And it's diverse within itself.
Yes,
it's not just one culture.
I mean, people are surprised when I tell them there are more than 30 languages, major languages in the Philippines, and they would always say dialects. No, not dialects. They're actual languages. And so that's something that we promote in the same way that we also support Filipino American artists who are doing their exploration here of their artistic possibilities. We promote economics, we promote trade, we promote culture, we serve the people with our frontline services, and at the same time we also assist citizens who are in distress. So if there are Filipino citizens who encounter problems with their work, and they need legal representation on something that that could imperil them further, then of course they can always ask us to to assist. We will evaluate where in the legal framework we could insert
You're
ourselves
able to, yes.
to be of assistance, and that's part of what goes on a daily basis here at the Philippine
all in
Center.
one day.
At the Philippine Center, we are proud that this building, which stands along Fifth Avenue, flies our flag, and I'm still filled with pride every day as I walk into the building to see our flag flying out of this building.
Yes, very multifaceted, your job, as you can see. I just want to build upon what you said about the last part, how you help Filipinos here in the U.S. that might have some needs. What are some common problems you've noticed here in New York City currently in the Filipino community?
Yeah. For example, although there are very strict labor laws in the United States, there are some workers, Filipino workers, who are experiencing, shall we say, some irregularities in their contracts. For example, they signed one contract in the Philippines, and when they get here, they are asked to sign something else, but without knowing that that's an addendum or a modification of the contract that was approved in the Philippines, and so they can come to us for assistance, and we of course would do our best to provide them legal representation to get out of such nefarious practices. Another is of course, there's domestic abuse. We can refer them to the proper resources in the city where they live, and then liaise with the police in ensuring that no further incidents would happen. In the case of, for example, Filipinos who experience hate crimes, of course, we are right there representing them in the city's different offices that handle such crimes, and at the same time we are working together with the labor office in Washington. It's now called it's now under the Department for Migrant Workers. So it's now called the Migrant Workers Office. It is based at our embassy in Washington, but we liaise very closely with them for whatever else that Filipino workers could be involved in that would need assistance from both the embassy and the consulate.
I see. Yeah. Yes, I'm glad someone is doing such good work in the community. I wanted to bring up the point you made about hate crimes, because we've seen, especially in New York City, a rise in Asian hate crimes in the Asian community, but specifically the Filipino community here. So what is yourself and your office, the consulate, doing to help educate our kababayans about how to stay safe in this environment that we're seeing change every day?
The most important thing that we are imparting to our kababayan is not to lose that sense of vigilance, which we should always have. Wherever you are in a big city, you have to grow another pair of eyes in the back of your head, so that you're aware of your surroundings. So awareness of surroundings and whatever dangers there might be, so that you could react even before something happens. If you know that there's a train that is full and one car that is empty. Well,
trust your gut
for
feeling.
those who are not from here, they would say, "Oh, it's how convenient," but you know that that's the opposite, right?
Yes.
So something's wrong with that. That's why it's not full. So that sense of being aware of your surroundings and being able to remove yourself from an occasion of danger, that's one. But what if you are already there, caught up in it? Of course, the one thing that we always advise is that it is never okay not to seek help.
Yes.
So you have to seek help, and the consulate can be with you when you ask authorities for help, and that's what we are doing whenever there's a Filipino American, a Filipino who is a victim of any crime. We liaise with the authorities that do the investigation and hopefully prosecution of the perpetrators. It has to be said, however, that a lot of these incidents are caused by problems with mental health among the citizens of this great city. I think there's a lot of things that we can do together, the Philippine Consulate, the Filipino American community, and the city officials to collaborate and make sure that is known to a lot of people, that mental health is an issue. Unlike physical problems, it doesn't show on the surface.
Yes.
And so it's very important to address that. And in that sense, we at the consulate, we are very open to various collaborations that would address that gap in.
Yes.
And ensure that the citizens, not only the Filipino Americans, but the citizens of the city would live in relative peace and a safer environment. Yeah.
Definitely. And finishing off, I just want to ask one more question. What's a final piece of advice you could give to Filipino Americans in New York City moving forward, and how can they get in touch with the consulate moving forward?
Well, the first thing I would like to say is that you should consider 556 Fifth Avenue as your home away from home while you're in New York. And not only in the city of New York, but all over the U.S. Northeast, from Maine to Delaware. This is your slice of the Philippines. We have a lot of programs here that are here to promote our heritage, to shine a light on our contribution to this country, to uplift the image of the Filipino American as a very important contributor to this country's economy, and also as a positive contributor to the fabric of American society. This is your place where you can access government services that are available. Of course, everything should be under the expectation that it is allowed by regulations. And it is something that we are authorized to do under the international conventions that govern the operation of consulates and embassies. And by that I mean that we cannot interfere in domestic politics or domestic operation of the laws of the land. But whatever we can do from here at the consulate within that legal framework, then we are, of course, willing to do. So consider the consulate as your resource, very important resource, and that we are never stingy in partnering with you and your organizations all over the U.S. Northeast for things that we can collaborate on to further shine a light on the Philippines and the Filipino American community. The best way to contact us is, of course, through our website. Sometimes a lot of the questions you have are already answered by different tabs on that website, and we are continuously seeking ways to improve the delivery of our services. And I think in the coming days I should announce here that we are ready to accept debit card, online payments. It's been a long time coming, but it's just to show that we are continuously assessing what else we can do, what improvements we can introduce, and we are ready to hear feedback from the Filipino community because that's what we're here for. We are here to serve you, We're here to collaborate with you and to partner with you, and we can achieve a lot more if we will unite under common goals and single purposes. We should be able to do more and reach more of our kababayan together.
Definitely. Well, that wraps up an informative and inspiring episode of What's Up New York here with the Consulate General himself. Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for giving us this time to meet and learn from you and your initiatives and hopes for New York City and Filipinos alike. So thank you again.
And thank you.
Thank you. And so with that, I also want to thank our viewers at home for watching What's Up New York. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to follow us on our social media and also subscribe to this channel to keep up with whatever's coming next. Also, be sure to comment. We love hearing from you, and give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. Until next time, remember, the Filipino community here in New York City still is beating on strong, and I'll see you next time. Good night, New York.
This is Consul General Senen Mangalile. Sup, New York?